This is Rudkowski of WeAreChange.org. I'm here with the conditioner, Adam Kokesh, the felon. Now, Adam, every time Adam does something, I'm like, oh, man. Like, they got him again.
How many minds are going to be blown
like,
today?
Why? Like, why? Again, like, they're going to get him. Like, this is it. This is it. Like, this is a strike. And then
He's
you
come
always
out of jail an Obama supporter.
Yeah, no, no. I'm just surprised. I'm like, he's going to go to jail forever now. He's going to get in so much trouble. And then you always, like, slick out somehow.
I feel
and you
like
just slicked out. Adam just slicked out. He was facing 7 years, felony charges. Got off on time served.
Well, time served was not insignificant.
No,
you know?
I know it wasn't insignificant, but I'm saying, like, how I was seeing it, I was like, crap, he's probably going to go to jail. And then you're not, and I'm really happy that you're out.
Well, I got to say, first off, I can't underestimate the importance in that of all the support that I had on the outside. And, you know, it's some of the obvious stuff. People showing up in court yesterday. They were like, we had the courtroom packed, and that was huge. You know, the judge noticed that. We had people wearing black and yellow, and it was awesome. And there were people who wrote letters to the judge, and there were people that, you know, thousands of people that wrote me letters in jail. So everybody knew what was going on. Everybody knew that I was a victim of the state. Everybody knew that, you know, I was there for civil disobedience. And there were people that left voicemails for the judge. And that public pressure, you know, the paradigm determines what the government is able to get away with. And if it's, you know, hey, if we jail dissidents, we're gonna look, it's gonna be bad for our credibility, and that has to temper that. And that was really huge. And, you know, I got to say thanks to everybody who supported me in this.
I was definitely worried because covering other cases like the Jeremy Hammond case and the Weave case, you know, they had a lot of support, but the judges still went hard on them, extremely hard. And I was really worried. But very happy you're out. You're on probation. Probation for 2 years.
Banned in
2
DC.
years. So now, that's what I want to know. What are some of the terms and conditions of your probation, and how is it going to affect your activism? Because now I feel like the cops are just going to be like all up in your face, just waiting for you to just show up a little bit of an attitude, and then bam, they got you. So what are the terms and conditions of the probation?
Well, it's worse than just probation. I did get sentenced to 20 months suspended, which means that hypothetically, you know, anything, and that 20 months kicks in. If I go into custody, you might not see me for you know, a year and a half. And you know, my 20 months minus time served, of course. So there's still some specific conditions and restrictions, but I can travel, I can speak out. I'm not afraid now of really anything that, you know, that I would say publicly that would get me in trouble, politically that would say, oh, well, he still believes, you know, he has a right to protest. That was so fun to see that in the sentencing report.
Yeah, tell us about that.
He is a high risk for recidivism.
What are we talking about exactly?
Before you go to sentencing before a judge in most jurisdictions in the United States, some bureaucrat interviews you, and then they write a report for, like, you know, hey, this guy's, he's a great guy, he's got no criminal history, or, you know, this is his, you know, 20th whatever, and you really need to send him away, he's a threat to society. And in my case, it was a brilliant piece of political propaganda against me. You know, he's a high risk for recidivism because he feels it is his right to protest. It's like, no, I know it is my right to protest. I know it is your right to protest, and that's why I do it. But, you know, you talked about, you know, my record of
causing trouble,
civil disobedience, and, you know, all the hairy situations I've got myself into with that. And I feel like, in a way, it's an important part of what I do. I almost think of it as, you know, an extension of street theater or performance art of activism. Like, I really do take it as that, because you're trying to convey a message, and you know, I get to enlist all the cops that come and harass me as actors in my productions, and I get to, you know, use the mainstream media to broadcast my message, and I've been pretty successful in that. But there's the bigger perspective of what it all says about government. And I feel like, you know, government is this big clumsy beast, and you can kind of dance around its feet, and sometimes, you know, you get stepped on, and, you know, but you can show people how to relate and really expose its true nature by walking up to that, as opposed to just cowering in the distance. And I'd like to hope that when people say they're inspired by what I do, it's because they see that I'm taking those risks, and I'm going up, and I'm dancing in between the legs of this crazy monster. And you're right, it's dangerous. But, you know, I pushed my limits with this last event, last Independence Day, with the shotgun. But, you know, and now I really do have to sit back on civil disobedience for 2 years, and I'm okay with that. I mean, it was a big part of my activism, but I'm really happy now to realign my goals and refocus on my media production. I'm moving to LA, and I hear there's some statists there. I hear there's some cops to interview, and there are plenty of people with bad ideas going around there. So, you know, I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm still going to be doing man on the street videos. I'll still be going out and talking to people at protests, organizing protests. But personally, I got to stay away from civil disobedience. So hopefully I'll be showcasing all y'all civil disobedience on Adam versus the Man 4.0. And I'm really looking forward to that. You know, it's my turn to sit back and be the guy in the studio for a while.
Now, 2013 was great.
And I wrote a book. And since I got out, I wrote a book. It's really, really important. It's coming out July 4th of this year. It's called Freedom. Yeah, and I gave a speech in 2008, the Revolution March speech, that you know really took me from just being an anti-war activist to a liberty activist, and you know introduced me to the broader movement. And I remember walking to the after party after that and thinking, if they shot me and I was bleeding out on the sidewalk, I'd take my last ounce of energy to put a smile on my face. You know, it's that kind of satisfaction. And I just finished the rough draft, and it was like that times 10. Yeah. And when I release this thing on Independence Day and unleash it on the world, it's going to be that times 100. You know, the book is totally unique in that it is a liberty manifesto, but it's global in its scope. It's not academic. It's easily accessible. It's the easiest way for someone to say, I get it, and it's universally applicable to, you know, everybody's experience all over the world. We've already got volunteer translators for languages to cover 90% of the population, plus Esperanto and Klingon. So it's going to be the first liberty book targeted and available for an intergalactic audience, and it's all free online. So
see, that's what I'd appreciate about you. You go through some like really heavy situations that you put yourself in, but you always smile at the end, no matter what you're facing, and I gotta respect that because it's always the reaction that is most important.
And show people how doing this makes our lives better.
Yeah. Now, 2013, crazy year. What was the most important lesson you learned after going through everything, after going through jail and solitary confinement and arrest in Philly and pleading? Like, what was the lesson you learned from 2013?
It was from some deep meditation in solitary confinement. And it sounds silly because it's such simple fundamental truths, but understanding happiness. And I've had all of these ideas before, but I never was able to just put it together in such a simple way of understanding it. But your mood and your attitude and your outlook is always your choice. You will never control what the world throws at you. You know, and if you remain an emotional slave, it doesn't matter if we achieve freedom in the world if you don't have enough internal discipline to be happy. And people will react to that and say, you know, oh, Adam, that's great, but I can't do that. I can't choose to be happy. It's like, no, you can. It's that easy. It really is. It's that easy. Your mood, your attitude, your outlook on life is a choice. It is absolutely a choice. And when you give that up, you are accepting a form of involuntary servitude to those who would control your emotions and manipulate you. You're being a slave to your past. To you know, everything that your parents taught you that was wrong, to everybody who bullied you in school, to every teacher who ever, you know, slapped you down, to every authority figure that wanted you to cower before them, to everybody that wanted to victimize you. And if you give in to that and you allow your outlook to be defined by that and you live in fear, well, you're accepting emotional slavery for yourself.
And you're allowing them to win. And
exactly.
The choice of freedom is a mental choice.
And it's not that it's automatic. It's a discipline. And we have to strive to live this way. And you know, maybe you can. Maybe I'm just walking right up to the line of where it sounds like some Zen Buddhist stuff already. And you know, but I think what I was able to do, and the way that I was able to meditate on this in solitary, you know, really at least worked for me. And that's something that I want to share with people is putting it in those really simple, easy to understand, that you know your attitude, your outlook is your choice. You decide what you want to do with your life. And you know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is not the way it really works. It's life, happiness, and you know, liberty is the result. If you can choose your outlook, that's what's going to lead people to be free, not having some external factor removed. Because you can be free and still choose to be miserable. But you know, why would you want to do that?
Exactly.
And that fundamental empowerment is what's really going to liberate society.
Yeah.
And if we all shared that, we all had that, You know,
Knowledge.
statism would.
Yeah.
If everybody was happy, there'd be no government. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
There would be no need for anybody to control anything.
I mean, look at the
Yeah.
people who are behind government, like, and the people that you go after. You know,
Control
and
freaks.
you know this.
Yeah.
Are they happy people?
No, they're
Like,
miserable, and that's why they commit the
Yes,
things they do, because they're
exactly.
filled with fear, and because of that fear and anger
They wanna
and
control
hatred.
others.
Exactly.
And it's not
they
that we have to like.
make themselves feel better because they're empty inside.
It's not like we have to fight them.
Yeah.
We have to empower them. You know,
That's radical. That's fucking radical as hell.
they are the worst emotional slaves.
Yes.
They are the ones that are suffering the most. And somebody who really understands this and believes in liberty will never say we have to fight the powers that be. No, we have to empower the poor souls that are so victimized by their past and whatever emotional servitude has been imposed on them that they need to suffer as victimizers.
Yeah. 100% right. Now, what you just told us, did that have any decision with you pleading? Because I remember when that happened, a lot of people were disappointed. I was like, what the hell just happened? Crap. Like, oh man, I was, scared that
Yeah.
you were going to go do serious jail time. Can you explain that decision? I know it was a very personal one. I hope you don't mind getting into it.
No, it's really not that complicated because there was a threat of more charges, and I didn't get an agreement to a sentence. I mean, I still could have gone, taken the plea, and hypothetically done 7 more years. Now, I knew that was unlikely. I mean, I knew based on my guidelines, like, yeah, the judge had that discretion, but really the most it could have been was 2 years, and that I had the chance to get what I did, which was time served, which, still not insignificant, but
A lot better than 7 years.
yeah, and if I had chosen to fight it, it's easy to say, oh, Adam, you should have taken the plea, or you should have stuck by your guns,
Yeah.
and you should have played the constitutional argument. Well, yeah, that in and of itself would have been accepting a de facto sentence of a couple of years possibly
Yeah.
of procedural stuff as they go, well, your trial will be in February, and then, oh, well, the
Yeah.
judge is on vacation, and so we have to push it back another couple months, and then, well, the prosecutors need to do this and that, and, your speedy trial limit is passed, so no, we can hold you now as long as it takes to complete the trial. And that's how government works. They bully you into a corner. And it wasn't an easy decision. It wasn't what I wanted to do, obviously.
I'm happy you're out. I look forward to the crazy podcast and video shows you're going to be doing. You're launching Adam vs. the Man 4.0,
Yeah.
AdamVersusTheMan.com. Find out more. Adam is starting out brand new, clean, fresh, a felon, but a good guy deep down that I'm happy is out of jail.
What do you mean?
And
Felons are the best guys mostly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm just saying the labels,
The real
whatever.
criminals
Yeah.
never get tagged with the label felony.
Brother, thank you. Give me a hug.
We love Adam because he sneaks